All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We are live on the Provoke Coach podcast. As always, I have with me a very special guest, somebody that I've known for quite some time. We actually used to be on the same team, but compete in a way. Just love rubbing shoulders with this guy throughout the years. But we both went on our different paths to do different things, not on the same team anymore, but really such a brotherhood anyways. We've stayed connected. We've followed each other. We've supported each other on both of our adventures. And here we are now talking once again live with Brad Modrich. Thank you so much for showing up, Brad.
Brother, I thank you for having me on, man. I just keep retracing just what happened prior to us jumping on, and I'm just so proud of you. Like I didn't know of what you're doing, bro. So just keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for being on. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, look, a lot of people might know, who you are, people that have followed you for quite some time, like myself. But there's going to be some people that maybe they don't know who Brad is, what you do, what you're involved with. So if you can kind of give everybody kind of maybe a 5-minute snapshot of present day, what is Brad up to?
Yeah. So currently my wife owns a company called Just Aesthetic Nursing and Spa. It's an aesthetic med spa. She started it back in 2017. I was still a VP at LA Fitness, still doing our thing. And make a super long story short, we decided to just open up her own brand. And she went out on her own, and the income was good enough for me to leave my full-time job.
Nice.
That's really how I got to where I'm at. But as of right now, you can call me the CFO of Just Aesthetic Nursing, the CMO of Just Aesthetic Nursing. We during the pandemic, we launched a credit repair company, made a couple investments. So since I left LA, it has been just knee deep into the entrepreneurial plunge, man.
Nice.
Opening up these businesses, being able to work with my wife, buying investments properties, commercial properties. Talked about a farm.
Yeah.
We literally just on Sunday, it was our 20-year anniversary. We just bought up here. We literally bought it. So like things are really, really good. And we're on an upswing as entrepreneurs. Yeah. We're growing. But I think what and it's something that's just kind of sticking in me right now is what you said is the purpose of this is to help people.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it. Like this can be duplicated.
Yeah.
I am not a hyper intelligent, super intelligent. Like I said, I'm a knucklehead kid from the east side of Allentown, man. You and I both come from the fitness space, and I'm a meathead.
Right.
I'm not gonna mistake it. I'm driven. I got a great energy, but make no mistake about it. There was a simplicity of what we did at LA Fit. I think this is one of the reasons why I was good. Was you just ran this play,
yeah,
right? And the guys that ran that play that didn't try to don't overcompensate it. Those were the dudes who crushed it.
Yeah,
right. The me, the Tonys, you know who they are, right? You know,
of course. Yeah,
these were the giants, and the reason why we excelled. And like when I tell people that we were 20 years with one company, in the fitness industry, they're just like, how does that happen?
Right.
Same reason why I believe that anyone can do this with the right work ethic, with the right discipline. And I don't care when you said that you want this to help people and the purpose of it. And when you were talking about your book, reversing it. That's what it's all about, is helping people.
Yeah.
And truly helping people with like tactical strategies, bro. This isn't what's talked about it. And I think a lot of people don't really understand it's not a key. It's not just one thing. It's a combination. There's multiple things.
Yeah.
And for you to really like, I think everyone knows that they want to do more. I
Of
think
course.
inside,
Yeah.
whether they want to be healthier, whether they want to be more fit, financial, whatever. There's something. I think it's human instinct. You just want more.
Yes.
For whatever reason, trauma, childhood, this, that. People get stuck with these excuses. I tell you, I had a pre growing up, incarcerated in prison, and bringing it back to the man that you see today. It's a man that, uh, above all of the financial accolade, we have. First off, just for the record, we got so much more to do. Like, I want to be very clear. There is a shit ton of work to do right now.
Of course. Oh yeah.
Than I've ever experienced in my life, right? More than taking over a whole region, right? And you know
Yeah.
how
Of course.
nut,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and let's talk about that for a second, Brad, because I think that, it's easy for, a couple of guys like us because now we've gotten our hands into, we come from a well-trained corporate structure to where the company heavily invested in our education. They heavily invested in our leadership, heavily invested in a culture of, like, like,
Performance.
like performance based, right? What was it like going right into entrepreneurship like you did? Because I know for me, look, there were some struggling times where I'm like, what am I doing? you know,
Bro.
and you kind of maybe some of these hard looks in the mirror, tell us what that's like, because I'd love to hear that myself.
I was, bro, I was fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm you curse on here.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
Bro, I was really fucked up in the head. Like
Yeah.
really mind fucked. You have to remember, for me anyway, LA Fitness was my identity.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
unquestionable.
Yep.
No one could question when they said Brad Modrich, they said LA Fitness, especially here where I'm from in my hometown.
Yep.
Like, and I know you've experienced it.
Oh yes.
I've seen people and they were like, "Oh, yo, you're the dude from LA Fitness." Like, we were the gym guys.
Yeah.
And when you stop doing something you literally did 50,
Yeah.
50 hours a week for 18 and a half years,
Yeah.
you're programmed a different way. And when
Yeah.
you're doing that, it's just like I was a fish out of water, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I wanted to be I went up and down.
Yeah.
I was fucking drove my wife batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
And what really kind of got you thinking like, look, let's get involved together with your wife. When you decided to do that, that's a gutsy move. I mean, look, we're all married. Like that's not hard or easy to work with your significant other, married or not. I mean, it's just not an easy thing. What made you decide to do that?
well, man, that's a great question. Because it how it all came together. Obviously, I don't want to take anything away from my wife. My wife, like, she's an animal. Um, but when it comes to growth and moving, like actually taking steps forward, I can visualize and verbalize that to kind of get her to make sense.
Yeah.
And we were just at a point. She was on her own. She was in one little spot. Then she moved. Then she started this little partnership, and I helped with a little bit on the back end with like the business structure, or like the building blocks of building the business. Always there from day one.
Yeah.
And getting the accounting all set up. She still was 90% of everything, right? Then it got to the point where she wanted to go on her own.
Yeah.
In her own element. And I'm like, well, the first thing that we need to do is we need to find a spot. And it started with getting into commercial real estate. And I think I started to build confidence in her because she knew me as an LA guy.
Yeah.
Right. In her mind, I'm still the dude that walks around the house farting and like,
yeah.
telling her, putting her head under the covers.
Right.
And she started to see like, okay, my husband doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. and
Sure. Yeah.
and she came to me in the beginning of 2021. She was like, I want you to you're going to take over the complete back end. So I took over everything now with scaling and the growing. So kind of like I know the financials of the know how to look at the KPIs, what we're looking at, what we're doing,
Yep.
the payroll. I'm doing all of that so she can just inject. I want
Yep.
her to be in flow state so she can inject and teach.
Yep.
But how we got there was being able to communicate with my wife. And I think this is something that a lot of people fail, is communication. I just,
Mhm.
explained it to her.
Yep.
And one of the things that made us great salespeople was our ability to communicate,
Yep.
ability to just make it make sense. And as headstrong as she is, I had to really get my shit together because she's a nurse. She goes on facts, she goes on data. She
Yep.
doesn't just go on normally when I was speaking her language in the beginning, it was like, ooh, rah, 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 sales. And she's
Yep.
like, fuck your sales pitch. Like, I don't
Right.
want to hear your sales bullshit. Tell me what the real deal is. I
Right.
had to change my methodology. Like, I had to learn QuickBooks.
Yeah.
I had to like do some shit
Change your
like
delivery. Yeah.
to change my delivery. So when I
Yep.
presented it to her, she's like, okay, yes, this does, right. So it's been great. And she's super at the end of the day, she's the chief,
Yeah.
it's her brand, it's her name. Part of that identity was releasing because I was, always in that position of power. That was hard when I left.
Yeah.
But now we're in flow state. We communicate better, we understand each other
Nice.
better.
Nice.
And it's just we're just excited because we're refocused on the vision.
Right. Absolutely. And you still have two other businesses. Let's talk about those for a second. So I want to talk about conflict first.
Okay.
Conflict was really kind of first. I mean, before you started doing all this. Is that correct? Or
Well, yeah, conflict was first. Wow.
yeah.
And man, conflict has not come off the way that I want it to.
Right.
So this is a really touchy subject with me because I almost tapped out on it,
Yeah.
gave up on it, and just like, and the whole clip behind the company is you don't tap out your conflicts.
Yes, exactly. Conquer your conflicts.
And I just had to put it on a hiatus.
Yeah.
Conflict was started. It was going to be a clothing line for mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Right. This is when tap out, when all we, when we used to wear the tap out shirt,
Sure. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
those cool, musclehead, meathead shirts. We were sitting there now. Well, I remember the day. It was May 1st, 2008. And my friend said something to me, affliction. And I was like, fuck affliction, conflict. Everybody loves conflict. It was a UFC night. We were at our house.
Yeah.
It was a conflict clothing company. And then I had this whole idea, man, conflict has literally went through conflict so many times.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, that's all how brands do, right? I mean, there's some things that come up. I mean, in entrepreneurship, especially if you're trying to juggle more than one thing, I think that, you're very similar to like myself. You like a lot of things going, you like to be busy. It's more exciting when it's like that. And I definitely love the mission behind conflict. So that's going to be interesting when you have more time to work on that, on what that could really be, because it is really about conquering your conflicts. You got conflicts every single day that happen in your life, and your ability to overcome that smoothly is extremely important, especially in business, right? I mean, did you find that that's where a lot of that came from?
Man, I would say that the conflict that we're going through with conflict right now is other things have taken precedent, and I took my
Sure. Oh yeah, of course.
and I promise you, the Conquer Your Conflict podcast is coming.
Yeah, nice.
I have 5 episodes recorded already.
Sweet.
And the whole purpose of conflict is going to, man, Clinton, it's been 2 great years of personal development, right?
Yeah.
Like for both of us.
Sure. Oh,
Like
yeah.
we have experienced so much growth from many different levels, right?
Yep.
From physical, our mental, our spiritual, our financial.
Yeah.
Like we are truly blessed guys, right? We
Yeah.
are in the play. And
Yeah, I definitely agree.
conflict, this is my baby that I will not tap out on. Like I had to come to Jesus about like 3 weeks ago.
Nice.
And it was extremely important that I do not tap out on this message of you can conquer your conflicts. How you do that? Number one, you have to detach yourself and have
Yep.
an honest conversation.
Yep.
Like really real. And this is like a conflict is going to be the blueprint that I physically went through
Yep.
the beginning of the pandemic. And from the beginning of the pandemic until right now, with absolute consistency, with absolute discipline. Now, don't get me wrong. There are ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's days where I'm mentally just like ready to fucking jump off a cliff.
Right.
But I would not change anything. And it can be done.
Yeah.
Honest conversation. You work on those 4 pillars. Your physical. You and I both know how important the body is.
Oh, yeah. You better believe it.
Right? Take
Yep.
care of your body. Right? Take
Yeah.
your mind. Read something positive. Stop letting these things wreck your brain. Like get your creative thinking going. Right? Exactly. Seek new information daily. Learn something. And then your spirit, come right. Now, when I talk about this, one of my boys said to me, like, why do you always say that? That's like fucked up that you say this. Most men do shit that they're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
It's a fucking fact. I don't care who they are. I don't care how married they are. Most guys are constantly doing dumb shit. Not maliciously, like, hey, I want to hurt my spouse or significant other, but they're doing it indirectly because it's just a minefield. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. When you have that honest conversation with yourself and you truly stop doing the things that don't serve you, whether it's a vice, whether it's porn, alcohol, whatever it is, overeating, laziness, procrastination, whatever those things, and you honestly say, I am going to do something different, and you actually do what you say you're going to do, it does something to your ethos. I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah, it's a win.
It's a win.
Yep.
And start with like 5 little things. I'm gonna take a 15-minute walk today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read 2 pages of a book today. I don't care how small they are.
Right.
Put them down on a piece of paper every day and check them off. You do that for fucking 60 days. You're gonna look back and you're gonna say, whoa, I did it.
Yeah.
And then you move forward, right?
Yeah.
At the rate in which you like. And you constantly you're sharpening your physical, your mental, and your spirit. When you get that spirit right, and you stop doing them things, and whether it's universe or God or Buddha or Allah, whoever it is.
Yeah.
You come correct with that one universe, whatever it is, and you're doing what you say that you're going to do. Your actions are coinciding with your words. You're seeing progression in everything.
Yep.
You drink the Kool-Aid a little bit, and you're like, you know what? This shit does work.
Heck yeah.
Because it does.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. It's a proven fact.
And I want to get that message out, man. It's hard. It really
is. Absolutely. Well, and look, you said it, there's some certain things that we have conflict with, and there's certain things that come up, and, it's almost like the more that you grow, the more that quickly that you identify that things are coming up and these are possible bottlenecks or these are possible challenges that are going to come up, but you attack them a lot faster. I'm assuming, this growing that you said that you've done even since the pandemic, and over the last couple of years. I mean, look, you and I think left corporate America right around the same time, in 2018-ish, right around in there. So we had a good year out on our own and away, and it's kind of pretty sexy there for a while because you don't.
When you left.
What's that?
How did you handle it when you left? Did you feel like a fish out of water?
Oh, of course. I walked right into my first contract with a company that I had no clue what the hell I was doing. And they were speaking almost a different language. It was a software company that my job was to coach, train, teach, and develop all the salespeople. But I had no clue the verbiage they were using, the metaphors they were using. Like, this was all like, and it was a different type of marketing. It was a different type of sales. It was a one call close for $30K, and you had an hour to close that deal. Like, I was teaching guys how to do that. It was just like, that's not selling a membership. That's
no life in that.
Right. That's running a Black American Express or an EFT draft for that much. That's getting their accountant on the phone. That's getting their CFO on the phone and transacting. It's a longer sales cycle, right? So it was just like this huge wake up call for me. Then I really didn't know digital advertising or digital marketing. I had no clue what sales funnels really were, and click funnels and drop funnels and website and SEO. And I mean, that's all. We were in a bubble, we were in a bubble for 20 years, right? So it was a huge wake up call for me anyhow. But it was so exciting, Brad, because we had to learn, and we had to learn fast, and we had to learn rapidly. But guess what? We were already structured. We were already disciplined. And that's what made it easier than what a lot of people go through. See, people think, like you said, that there's a key or a switch or some magic trick that happens. And no, it's over 20 years of habitual things that you do on a daily basis to build that foundation. I would have never been able to do that without the education that I had, and definitely didn't have the balls nor the courage, to walk in there and kick the door down and say, hey, look, let's roll. They thought I was nuts. And I'm thinking to myself on the way home, I'm watching YouTube videos about things, and I'm pumping the information into my brain on the way to work, to try to figure this out for this company. And I'm like, oh my God, so yeah, that had to be huge for you too, because, look, you're talking about going into your wife's practice. That's a totally different animal than running a health club or running a sales team or personal training or anything like that. Totally different business.
Totally different. I watched the doctors and the surgeons. I mean, from learning like the frontalis muscle and how everything ties in here. We're coming in here. What different products do what? I'm learning it. It's so like, it's so deep.
Yeah.
My wife went to a cadaver head where they take a dead head. They get the nurse gets to split it open, peel back the layers of the skin so they could see the different veins and how they lay. Down the rabbit hole. She went like nerve on the face. Wow. Like, she's telling me about like, and you got to remember these my wife takes it serious. Like, someone go blind. You hit Botox in the right spot, or put filler in a vein and get an inclusion. Here, like, I know these words, like,
right.
When this happens, really bad, right? It's not good. And my wife nerded out on it. Still learning, and it is. But I think now, as I pull back, I have I know where the head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Like, I know it, right? That's the best way I can explain it. And now I'm just going to go do what I do. Right?
Yeah, of course.
We're moving into our new location here in like the next 2 weeks. Our build out's almost
nice.
I'm focusing on the customer experience.
Yeah. Nice.
Like from how it smells to how we fresh their face before the injection. Like we are going all in,
Nice.
screening budget and all this other stuff. We're going in on that experience. So when they leave there, they're like, holy shit.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That real high end, that
Like that
really,
I know.
yeah. Well, and that's, you know, and that's going to be really awesome that you're going to be able to use like what you've learned over the years in service and client success and customer service and having that, I mean, that connection and that feel when they walk out of there, because you're absolutely right. In all customer service and all sorts of businesses, you know, whether you get off the phone with somebody that you maybe had a coaching session with, or, you know, you're in client success and your service and things are going well. Like when you hang up that phone or you walk out the door, how do you feel? You know, do you feel like, God damn it, I'm paying a lot of money for this place? Like, this isn't right.
Right.
Like, you know, you always start questioning yourself when you're not happy. If you're happy, then you start defending your purchase, as we know in sales. But then you're like, damn, this is so awesome. You know, I love this. That's fantastic. Now, you know, how did you get into Trifecta? What, you know, so here's a totally different business. What happened here?
So Trifecta, pandemic hit. We were all locked down. I was doing like, I don't know if you remember, I was doing a live every day during the pandemic.
Yeah. Yep.
Every day I did some kind of live video, post it, like just something out there. And I was doing these Zooms. Got on the phone, lifelong buddy from my Tampa days when I was down in Tampa.
Yeah.
We're just talking about life, and he was like, I'm like, what do you love to do? Like, you're kind of trying to find that purpose kind of conversation, right? I was on like day 34 or 40 of 75 hard.
Yeah.
In the middle of the pandemic, and I'm like super focused, like locked in. I got blinders on. If anyone's dying, I'm like in go mode. Like, we're gonna get you through this. Like, what's your purpose? Let's find it now. Like, I doubled down on all. Like, I did a whole lot of these calls. So me and Mike were on a call, and I'm like, what is it, bro? What is it that you love? And he was like, you're gonna laugh at me. I'm like, what? He goes, now you got to mind you, my partner Mike is like a stud, right?
Yeah.
EQ, black hair, Italian, literally 40 years old and shredded. Like I could probably jump on stage tomorrow if you really wanted to.
Wow.
Great looking dude. He goes, credit repair. I was like, credit repair? I'm like, where does this come into play? So fast forward, I was like, you got to talk to my boy Dave Bergio, guy up here in Allentown. Let me connect you with him. He's been doing repair for like 5-6 years. We just him the next day. They start, you know, they connect it right away. Both Italian. They're like, how you doing?
Yeah.
They hit it off, and we just started spitballing ideas. I was like, why don't you guys open up a business? And they were like, why don't you do it with us? I was like, nah, I got so much on my plate right now. And it just came. I don't know if it was me or Mike. I can't remember, but he came up with, I was like, would be a trifecta. There's three credit bureaus, and immediately I thought about the Trident.
Yeah.
It was the first vision that came to my head was the Trident. And I was like, Trifecta Credit Solutions. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And the cool thing about it, why we did it, the first thing that we went into, and this is an important part in business and life, I said, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
I need more because it's not mechanical. I need to know who are we helping.
Yeah.
We started at the end.
Yeah.
Who are we helping? And we literally peeled it back. We got our core values, who we are, what's our purpose. We set up the mission. We did all of the infrastructure of what we are and who we are and what we represent first.
Nice.
Like number one core value is do the right thing.
Yeah.
Our employees and by our clients.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we laid out the core values, and we wanted to be in terms of being more personalized,
Yeah.
customer client acquisition, and it's been going great. I got
That's awesome.
amazing partners, Dave and Mike. They're soldiers. We have Gina, our operations manager, Tara Falcone's another partner of ours, Kim Stevens. Like, just couldn't ask for a better group of people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's so critical right now with the interest rates the way that they are and the economy the way it is and with inflation the way that it is. Like, people don't understand like how critical it is for you to have a good credit score. Like, I remember being young, in my 20s, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'll figure that out when I need to. Well, golly, if you want to not pay out your hind end in interest rates, and you actually want to be able to get into homes, and you actually want to, like, that criteria all changes over the years. And I remember reading a book about credit repair, by Kevin Trudell, I think, way back. I mean, this is back in the day, right? Like, where you used to write a letter to the credit bureaus and be like, take this shit off my credit. Like, this isn't me, or, because
Clinton, it hasn't changed. That's what I do. That's exactly what we do. We write the letters for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just so interesting that, look, I mean, it took me a long time because I didn't know what I was doing, of course. I mean, I'm just a civilian, if you will. I just worried about myself. But, eventually, things got removed, things got taken. I did have to settle on a couple of things that were out of control, college days and a lot of fun, but we cleaned up our shit. And instantly when we did that, things changed, right? Like, getting a home was like nothing. Getting an awesome interest rate, like nothing. Car, lease, and then of course, on top of making great money in the fitness industry, it was like, having phenomenal credit. It's like, kid in a candy store. Like, you can get whatever you want.
Yeah.
But more so for businesses, what I learned as far as having my business and even, getting approved for a nonprofit is that credit is important as well.
Yeah. Super important.
Yeah.
On so many different levels, man. I heard this one day at like one of these credit seminars we were listening to, or a podcast. He said, if cash is king, credit is the entire army that protects the cash.
That's right.
And when I heard that, it's so true. Like, we just bought this farm literally because of like 3 phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an 840 credit score. My wife, I think I seen hers was like 805.
Yeah.
Like, power of credit, man.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Well, but not only that too is like not only just the banks and purchasing things, but what people don't understand, especially young people that are getting into the job market, like, it's a great thing that, LA Fitness didn't, worry about credit upon hiring me, because I would have never gotten hired there with my credit score being in the 400 or 500s at the time. Right. Like, so it's a little bit more than just making purchases and saving money on interest. It really is how you manage things, because who's going to get a job as a CFO, when you can't manage your own income and credit, right? And the things that you're doing out there. So it's powerful, man. It's such an awesome industry to be in, to help, with which is your core value one, right?
Yeah, it's been good. And what hooked us was I'll never forget our first client. My partner, we did a 3-way with him when we were talking through him through the sale. And my Dave goes, we went over his credit profile, and Dave just asked us a simple question. He said, how did you get here? Like, how did you get to this? Because part of the thing that we do is we educate them, because the most important part from fixing their credit is 65% of what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
So Dave does this thing, and he's like, how'd you get here? And this dude was just like, took a deep breath, got real quiet, and he goes, "My wife just picked up, walked out one night, never came back, and left me with 2 kids. We were a 2-income household, and now we only have 1, and I don't know what to do, so I stopped paying my bills."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "We got you, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're gonna fix this."
Wow.
And there's people there. There's so many people that are going to be hit financially. Like this is, people need to tighten up.
Yeah. Well, and this is the time to be able to use credit and to be able to use, other forms of income that are necessary, right? Like, there's all sorts of incentives now that credit card companies have. I mean, if you can get 3% back on your money on your everyday spending, why wouldn't you do that? It's 3%. It's 3%. I mean, the banks don't even give 1%, unless you're, investing in something, right? Like, I mean, that's, it's super critical. Well, look, man, I mean, I know that we didn't really talk so much about how did you end up here? Like, if you could just share at least, 1 or 2 provoking moments from your past that really kind of helped shape you to be where you're at right now. Because if everything was easy for you, Brad, I wouldn't believe that you and I'd be talking right now.
Yeah. I for so long. Well, first off, I don't know if you know this, but prior to me leaving LA Fitness, I never spoke, posted, or talked about my incarceration.
Yeah.
While I was a VP. I'll tell you a quick funny story. I opened up Allentown, and not to get off, I will just make sure I don't forget where we were talking about. We were talking about like out there, right? I do have a special moment, which was literally what made me pivot everything when I was incarcerated. But I never talked about being incarcerated. But right when we opened the Allentown Club and we broke all kinds of records, doing so good, I hired someone, and there was an article in the newspaper about him. Fast forward, a reporter called me. I said I didn't want to comment, and my name somehow came up in the paper the next day. Someone called the reporter and said, "Well, if you think the guy you did the article was on, you should take a look at that guy, Brad Modrich." And literally, like a week later, in the front of the morning call like the local newspaper, like fucking front of the paper, there was a picture of LA Fitness Allen Warner sitting there, and it said, "Look who's running LA Fitness." And I was just like,
wow,
completely dumbfounded. I got a call from chat. Everyone, my phone like lit up when I walked into work that day. Like it was like Angie was calling, this one was calling, everyone was calling. I had to go see Chad. And he goes, "Know about this?" And I said, I want to like keep bragging about it, right? That's something that I was proud of. Like it's not like a shining moment. Like, hey, guess what? I just did 4 years in prison, right?
Right.
He goes, "Well, did you leave? Like, what about your application?" And this is, mind you, this is back prior
paper
all
application.
paper.
I remember, yeah.
And I left it unchecked.
Yeah.
And Chad did my interview.
Yeah.
So they went and pulled the profile to see if I lied on it. And Chad calls me back in. He goes, "Mark." I said, "Well, I was waiting for you to bring it up in the interview. You never brought up, so I never talked about it."
Right. Yeah. Why would you? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't proud of it, so whatever.
Yeah. And fast forward, literally like a month later, Lou was doing his roundabouts, hit the PA market, right? And I remember we were all sitting in Fort Washington. All the dick riders were up front. I was just laying in the back, right? I was posted up, waiting. It's always where I postured in these meetings. I was never like up. Lou literally walks in. He lines over. He puts his arm around me, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Oh shit! What the hell's about to happen?"
Wow.
And, he goes, "You did me good." He goes, "You did really good work in Allentown." He goes, "Listen, We all have dirt under our nails. He goes, you're the dumbass that got caught.
Yeah.
Good job, Clinton. I went fucking gangbusters.
Yeah.
I destroyed every fucking GM in our region.
Yeah.
I literally shit on everyone in the Northeast. When he did that to me, the loyalty factor.
Yeah.
I'm yours, soldier number one. Let's go, Spartan.
Right.
I
Right.
went crazy to work, and that's how I lasted. I never forgot about that, man.
Wow. It's so
Such a
awesome.
great moment.
Well, but that shows, look, I mean, regardless of your past, you were able to, create, such a connection, with a company. And like you said, like that was your loyalty.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, look, I guess we're kind of coming to the end, and I do want to ask you some advice that you have for some people out there listening right now. Like, here you came from, like you said, you spent 4 years for, maybe some bad decisions. We've all been there. Like you said, we all got, a little dirt under our nails. We've all learned, what advice do you have for somebody that might be listening right now?
Yeah. I think my biggest growth was creating a better relationship with God right now.
Yeah.
And you're talking to a guy who has imposter syndrome. There's good trauma that I deal with. My message to people that are out there is, listen, if you woke up today, you won. And regardless of how chaotic you may be right now, in the storm, whatever storm you're going through, whatever season that is, whatever evolution of your life you're going through, and you're in that dark spot, which a lot right now. And I really want to focus on those people, because it's easy to talk to the guys that are all hype and be a hype man.
Yeah, of course.
It's the people that are hurting right now, and sometimes they may make it look good on social media, but they're hurting inside, and usually hurt and that stress simply comes from they know they want to do something, they can see it, they feel it, they know they should be doing something, but they're not doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
As small as he, I promise everyone out there who hears this that if you just put one foot in front of the other and make one good decision at a time, and just think before you decide, is this going to serve me? Is this going to help me become that better version? Right?
Yeah.
What's the outcome of this? If I, and I'm just going to use food because it's something we can both relate. I'm eating this cheeseburger. Do I gotta eat the from, Five Guys, or should I go get a grilled chicken? Like all of those little decisions.
Right.
I got to get to the gym. I want to be healthier. I want to work on the relationship with my wife or my husband. And there's things that that you should be doing, but you're not doing it. That's where the stress comes in. That's where the pain comes in. But do something about it.
And take action.
Take action. Even if it's the smallest piece. And how I did it, personally, I started by literally, matter of fact, I got my book right here. It started with writing 10 things down a day.
Yep.
And checking them off a box.
Yep.
This is my book from 2020 that I did it all.
Nice.
Here. These are the two books that I plowed through simply writing 10 simple little things down.
Yeah.
Because I didn't believe myself. I didn't think I could do it. I had to prove to myself. That was it. I could do it.
Awesome. Just 10 things. Just those 10. Yeah, it could be fun. Yeah. Right.
Check them off the box. I did it. And then when you start to say, I'm doing what the fuck I said I was going to do, you start to change the energy and the ethos in your body.
Awesome, brother. Man. Well, look, we're going to have to do definitely a repeat. We're going to have to definitely do this definitely again, because I mean, you and I could talk. We could go down some rabbit holes. That would be ultra fun. But definitely for, maybe round 2 and maybe even round 3 in the future, man. I appreciate you being on. Where can people find you? Where's the easiest place or the fastest, way for you to respond, regardless of what they need?
It is literally Brad Modrich, everything.
Okay.
Modrich.com, Brad Modrich Facebook, Brad Modrich Instagram, Brad Modrich Twitter, Brad Modrich, BradModrich.
Perfect. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for being on. I'm going to have you hang around here just for a couple minutes as we let everybody else go. Everybody else, wow. If you love this episode, it was electric. Whether you're listening now or whether you're listening later, give it a like, give it a follow, give it a subscription. I don't care what you do. Share it with somebody else. Share the message, at least the story. And remember to provoke positive change in people and your peak performance.